Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second episode. You're tuning into End2End, where we cover the hottest topics of today's NHL. I am Stephen Tomlin with my co-host, Christian Palacrusis.
How's it going?
Today we're going to be covering what we expect to see in April coming playoffs. To start off, we're going to be talking about the Atlantic Division. To begin, I would say Tampa Bay's not going to be moving out of that top spot.
Nope, they're not going anywhere. They're in 106 points right now with 51 wins, only 13 losses, and 4 overtime losses. What is that? Imagine only losing 13 times.
That's called a miraculous season for sure.
13 times. You've only lost. Well, you've lost 17 times.
Yeah.
In a row.
Not
in a row. Okay, my bad. Sorry, but you've lost 17 times.
Yeah.
Some teams lose 17 times out of 20 games. Let's just go down to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has
Ottawa.
Ottawa, Chicago.
That's
New
also in
Jersey.
Atlantic.
Ottawa has 23 wins, 39 losses.
Jeez.
That's just it's not okay. Like how can you have that little wins with such a talented core, but then you send them off? They're basically an AHL team. We said this last time. We said this on the episode last time. That was on the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is on the playoff runs on certain teams and what teams we think will make it, what teams we don't think will make the cut. But what are you thinking about Boston? I know that's your team.
Well, obviously they're not going to be passing Tampa Bay.
Okay, well, hold on. They're at 106 points. Boston's at 91. If they get hot and Tampa gets cold,
that's 15 points.
that is 15 points. That's a lot of games.
That's like
7 games.
yeah, if not more, because that's 14 actually. But
Okay, so one more game.
yeah,
Sorry.
one more game,
8
overtime
games,
loss
8 games.
actually. But
Uh,
and then we have Toronto.
yeah.
I don't see Toronto's not passing Boston. Boston's on a juggernaut. They've gotten a point in like the last 18 games, I think. At the moment, it's March 8th, and they haven't they've gotten I think it's 14 or 15 wins and 3 overtime losses. They have not gotten a regular season loss in the last 18 games.
Well, the thing is with Toronto is completely inconsistent. With Boston,
especially when they get to the playoffs, as we saw last year.
All right, you're just putting salt in the wound now, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I love that
Okay,
series.
Yeah. So, the problem with Toronto is that they're very inconsistent, and that's coming into play where they literally you don't know if they're gonna make it past the first round or not. They could be the most talented team in the league, which I think they are one of the best teams in the league right now.
I would not. I wouldn't be shocked if Montreal actually caught up to them.
I don't know. Montreal's at 79 points, man.
I think Montreal's cut for the wild card, though. I think they're sitting at a number 2 spot. But the only problem is that Columbus right underneath them has 77, and Columbus making all those moves at the deadline shows that they're all in this year.
They're all in, and they actually it worked out for them.
Oh.
It did. It worked out. They actually came out with successful trades, equaling successful play. They're playing great right now.
They're playing great, but they won't be playing great next year when all their players leave in free agency.
Panarin.
And Duchesne, Dzingel.
Duchesne, where do you think he's going to go next year?
I could see like Nashville, some
Nashville?
Western Conference team or like a team like New Jersey. I could just some team like that just picking them up, thinking that they can make a push. But other than that, on the Atlantic, it looks like it's pretty much a deadlock there.
Tampa's going to stay there. Boston, Toronto, we could see a little bit of
that's
movement.
That's
the
only spot in the Atlantic. Other than that, like there's no teams really running other than Montreal, but Montreal's like almost 10 points back from Toronto, so I still don't think that there's really any like competition in there other than Boston and Toronto.
No. Let's go to the Metropolitan because I want to talk about the Metropolitan.
The Metropolitan.
I think personally, and then I'll ask you what your opinion is. We had
Yeah.
this on the last segment where we talked about opinions.
Yeah.
My opinion is Metropolitan weakest division of all 4. Has to be. Look at the points.
Yeah, I would say so. Just because like
Central's doing
yeah,
poorly as well.
Central's doing bad, but Central does have really good teams that they have to go up against. Metro's a lot different where they play all the same teams, and like I don't understand.
If Toronto was in the Metropolitan right now, they'd be in first place.
Yeah, and
The first place team is New York Islanders. They have 85 points. Toronto's at 87 points.
yeah, I don't understand how the Islanders, which they were rumored to like basically tank at the
I
start of the
thought they were
season.
supposed to tank, and then I'm not too sure.
They were
actually, what
supposed to
happened
lose
there.
for Hughes, and now they're
Now
running.
looks like Ottawa's trying to lose for Hughes.
No, well they
No,
can't.
it's gonna be LA.
No, Winnipeg
It has to
Colorado's gonna get that pick, because Colorado has the Senators pick because of the
We went
Duchesne
over this
trade.
last week. Yeah, you're right.
Other than the Metro, like also in the Metro, it's pretty tight there. We got New York in first right now with 85 points. We have the Capitals also with 85 points, and we also have the Penguins
At
four
81.
4 points behind.
No. Oh yeah, 4 points behind the Washington Capitals. Carolina's on their butt.
Oh, Carolina, yeah.
That's literally a toss-up right now.
I still don't see Carolina making the playoffs. I see them just
I think
falling.
they're gonna make the wild card spot for sure. What do you mean?
I think they'll fall short by Columbus.
They got Montreal on their back. They got Columbus on their back. Philadelphia's a couple points behind. I don't think they're gonna be going anywhere.
I don't see Philly or Buffalo even touching anybody.
Philly or Buffalo? No, Buffalo for sure. No, but Philadelphia, they could get hot at the end. This is one of those points in the time in a season where literally a coach walks in and says, "You know what has to be done, right?
Yeah.
We cannot afford to lose games if we want to make the playoffs. We're at 72 points. Carolina's at 79. We need to win. We
Yeah.
need to win now. We can. It's March. We've got 1 month left of solid hockey before things get more solid. where the big boys come out to play, and we don't want to be with the Ottawas, the Detroits, the New Jerseys. Like they're done. Like they're just enjoying this last month.
We can knock out these teams for the running
I'd say
for the
Ottawa,
playoffs.
Detroit, of course, New Jersey, New York, Florida, Buffalo, definitely. You said Philadelphia you would knock out too
Because of
but
the trades that they made at the deadline, they don't want to win this season. So why would they keep trying to make a playoff push? It just doesn't make sense. They traded Wayne Simmons away for a
So you think are they trying to rebuild?
Oh no, they're not. They're not trying to rebuild whatsoever. But I just don't think they're. I think they're just taking a step back. They're thinking, oh, okay, so maybe we'll look at a playoff push and see what we could do in free agency and see what we could do at the draft. Because I think Philly has a little trick up their sleeve, seeing that they just need to build out the bottom two lines and their defense. And also find a goalie because they just love those.
Oh
yeah, but they got Cam Talbot.
I like Michael Neuwirth.
Yeah, well, he's their backup though.
I love him. I think he's
They-
fantastic. Michael, if you're listening to this right now, which I know you're not, you are the best goalie in the league, in my opinion. You are so consistent. You've been riddled with injuries, so I feel bad for you on that. But my God. I don't know. Like, he's one of my favorite goalies, and I don't care how skilled he is. Michael Neuwirth, he's just one of those goalies where he's just types of players that you can't really explain why you like them.
Yeah.
Like who? Oh, Marchand.
I love
hate
Marchand.
I
Everyone,
hate
Marchand's the type of player though that you hate him on one team,
You
but
hate
then
to love him.
yeah,
No, sorry.
you-
You love to hate him.
yeah,
You absolutely love to hate him because if he's not on your team, then he's obviously putting up production against you, right?
yeah, and if like every team or most teams, I would say definitely have a Marchand type player. You could look at Toronto; they have Kadri. You could look at Washington; they have their Tom Wilson. So you could say like Marchand. Obviously, he's a dirty player, obviously, but
He's definitely
you-
a dirty player.
you-
Yeah.
you definitely want him on your team. If
I don't know
say,
if I'd want him on my team. I feel like
So
he'd be
you're-
hurting my team more than helping because he's in the box all the time.
So you're saying if Toronto ended up making a trade at the deadline for Marchand for like nothing, you would be okay with that?
Okay, I never said for nothing. if we're getting him for nothing, I'm taking him. But if we have to give up players that I think are better, I think there's a lot of players that are better than Marchand. Okay, but
No. He's
what's that
definitely
face?
at least top 50 for sure in the league.
no, not anymore.
Oh, for sure. Like me.
No way. I think that's the Boston bias coming out of you a little bit. We should call you that from now on this podcast.
No,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Christian Christian. I'm with the Boston bias. Yeah,
that doesn't have a ring to it. No.
you're the Boston bias. Every time we talk about Boston on this podcast, you're just so convinced that they're gonna do wonders for the league. Oh my God, Marchand's the best. Oh my God, Bergeron's the best.
Well,
Marchand's not the top 50. I'm telling you right now. You know who's better than Marchand?
Who?
Kapanen.
Um,
Without the aggressor to him, but Captain is definitely better than Marshawn.
I would, I, I, I don't. I would never, in a
Okay,
million
full
years.
disclaimer, I don't think Kapanen's better than Marshawn, obviously. He's still super young, but I'm just not a fan of Marshawn.
Oh, okay. Still
Just
though,
not a fan of him.
it's pretty crazy what Boston's doing at the moment because, what Boston's doing right now, they don't have Pasternak. He's been out.
Nope, he's injured.
And they've gotten a point in the last 18 games. That win last night against Florida, where they battled back from 3-2 and scored 2 goals in the last minute. That just shows how much Boston they're a worrying team. You're gonna worry about them, especially if you're a Leaf fan.
Well, if any team's playing Boston, I'd worry. Look at them; they've got the reputation for beating teams badly, and with blunt and just with full power. There's teams out there like Toronto will beat you. It won't be every single day where Toronto's coming in and starting 3 fights, and then they end up beating you 4-1, 4-0. Boston's a team that they're capable of doing that every single night. They're capable of beating you and then beating you. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, they could just turn around and just give you another loss.
And then another loss to the face, because they got some guys that can fight on that team.
And it just shows how good Boston was when they faced off against Tampa, and actually beat Tampa, which was a shock. Gave them one of their 13 losses.
They're sitting at 13 losses.
Yeah, 13 losses.
I can't believe that, man.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine only losing 13 times out of 81 games.
That's unreal.
My apologies.
So we kind of went a bit off topic. We jumped.
We do this a lot.
We jumped from the Metro to the Atlantic, but now we're going back to the Metro.
We're gonna go Central now,
let's
huh?
go. Let's go Metro. Let's go back there.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Carolina, you think they're a bunch of jerks?
I hate their celebrations.
I think it's a joke in the game, and I'm not even saying this because Don Cherry commented on this. I think that does not belong in professional hockey. Are you kidding me? What is this, rugby? Yeah. You're doing the clap?
Yeah.
That's not your move. That's not your signature thing.
Yeah. I think it's
The classic thing to do is put your hand up, thank everyone for coming to the game, using their hard-earned money to come watch you play. And you're over here you're playing bowling and
home run.
home run. Yeah, like it's a joke. Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I understand Carolina, they don't have many fans. So that's a way, I guess, to try to bring some into the stadium, but I mean, it's not cool to see that. You know, the thing about hockey is like a gentleman's sport.
Yep.
It's
played to have dignity.
Yeah,
you're supposed to have dignity when you play.
Yeah.
It's a game of dignity, and you lose all dignity when you do that. That's crap. I don't know how to explain it.
The worst. I think that's the worst thing.
How amazing would it be if someone played Carolina in the first round and did that after they swept them or something?
They should do that. I would.
How
do
amazing
that.
would that be?
Care.
They made T-shirts in Carolina called "Bunch of Jerks."
Yeah, they're running.
They're the jerks. That's their new name.
They're running out of things to do.
Well, that's a good segue. At least now they have a nickname for themselves, other than the Canes, because now they actually have an identity for themselves. Since when has Carolina had an identity in hockey before?
Yeah.
They always used to be the team. Oh, we're playing Carolina?
Yeah.
Big deal.
Even the name like Hurricanes, it's not a nice name.
Okay,
Well,
I think we're getting a little bit off here.
No,
What
I
do you mean?
hate that name.
Hurricanes?
Do you know what their alternate jersey is? Have you seen what their alternate jersey is? The black one with their logo, but it's like a flag and it's held up by a hockey stick. Do you know what that is? It's a hurricane warning flag.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What is that? Why is that in
I
this
never knew
game?
that was actually
I understand like their Hartford Whalers jerseys; those are so nice, but
they should go back to those.
they should go back to Hartford.
Oh.
But I could see like teams like Carolina, Arizona, teams like that just leaving because I know obviously Quebec City, they're gonna get a team. I hope Quebec Nordiques. I would try to reach and get to those games as quickly as I can, just because of such nice jerseys.
They're beautiful jerseys. I can't complain with I can't knock them for having amazing jerseys, but like the Carolina Hurricanes down there, they're a bunch of jerks, and that's all there is to it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think we covered the Metropolitan enough.
Actually, let's talk about Columbus. Do you think Columbus
All right.
will get to the playoffs?
You really like the Metropolitan division. I actually think it's the worst division in hockey.
I like it right now just because of how close it is. There's 5 teams. In the
know.
Atlantic
It's a close one.
there's literally 3 teams. That's it.
I know.
So, do you see Columbus making it out of even making it into a wild card spot, or do you just see them just missing the bus for the playoffs?
I see them missing the bus, and I hate to say it.
Wow.
I hate to say it, but I feel like Tortorella's too pressured. Is too pressuring actually.
Do you think that Tortorella's job will be gone by?
Oh yeah. No. I can already cut you off. I know Tortorella will not be there next year.
You think just next year? You don't even think.
Tortorella
What
in
if
the
they?
next 2 years won't be there. My apologies. I meant 2 years. 2 years, Tortorella won't be there. It's gonna be a new coach.
Yeah, for sure. I would say in the next 2 years for sure, but I would say in
100%. If okay, so we touched upon this a little bit last week, where Columbus is that type of team where they have an amazing playoff run, then they get to the actual playoffs, and they get swept in the first round,
yeah.
or win 3 and then lose the first 4.
Yeah.
They're a team that is pressured to win by Tortorella every night. And who doesn't want to be pressured to win? I mean, but in a good way. Tortorella doesn't get pressured doesn't give pressure in a good way. Have you seen that man? I would not want to play for him. Would you want to play for him?
No.
Who would want to play for him?
He just has a bad reputation, and it seems like how he treats his players is terrible, just because of what he said about Panarin at the deadline. Him oh, he's sick, he's at home, and he's throwing up everywhere. You don't say that.
That literally just throws your player under the bus.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like with Tortorella, is that he's so absent-minded at times, where he just says what he thinks without even contemplating on what the repercussions are going to be.
What the outcome's going to be, yeah. But
that's why.
I still think Columbus will be making the play. If anything, I wouldn't be shocked Pittsburgh falling out.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be shocked. Pittsburgh's
that team where we talked. I think I talked about this last time. It was one of my main points on our last episode, where teams stick with the same core well after their core was an actual core.
But they're
like the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm not talking about Crosby. Of course, Crosby will be always the greatest player to play right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
My opinion for sure.
McDavid's not better than him.
Yeah.
We're getting off topic. Sorry, but Crosby, he's fantastic. The things we can do with the puck is amazing. But the team around him has aged.
The team around him is a bunch of top AHL players. To be completely honest, I don't.
So it's just like the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, basically,
But
the
different,
Edmonton.
of course.
The Edmonton Oilers are building the same team as I would say Edmonton, just because you can't have players like Ty Ratty. Ty Ratty, he's probably one of the better wingers, which is not a good thing on the Edmonton Oilers.
Ty Ratty is literally any team's fourth line other than the Oilers.
Yeah.
The Oilers, he's a second line or third line guy. Ty Ratty right now is... Where would you put Ty Ratty? On line 1 to 4.
Man, if I was probably... Matters what team I am. If I'm
That's
the
the
Ottawa
thing.
Senators, he's first
line.
line.
I know. But you're telling me if you put him on the Toronto Maple Leafs, he's going to play on the second line?
Oh, no.
There's no spots.
I even doubt he might not even make the third line. Looking at Columbus is just their team. They have to win. So I don't know what they're going to do if they don't. Obviously,
they're going to fire the coach. That's what they're going to do.
If they don't even make the second round, I don't even think they'll make the... I think they'll get rid of Tortorella. They have to.
First of all, they're not making it to the playoffs, in my opinion. With the competition in front of them, you think they're going to make the playoffs?
Oh, for sure. I think... Don't they have...
For sure?
Let me
You're
check.
100% for sure right now.
I would put money down. I would put money down. You hear me, Columbus? Put money down if you think you're going to
He's putting money down.
It looks like they have a weak schedule too. They
Who they got?
play the Penguins next, which is on Saturday. Pittsburgh, New York.
They lost 3-0 to Pittsburgh.
But they play Edmonton, Vancouver.
They play Boston.
Yeah, I see that. They play Edmonton, Vancouver, and New York in a row, and then they play Buffalo, Boston, and then the Rangers, and then Ottawa. So that's
pretty
three
light.
That's 3 out of 4
national
wins. Now there's about at least 5 good teams out of their next 20 games that they have left.
I'd say, yeah.
But
If they don't capitalize on those, then that's an embarrassment. Look at
then
the
they
teams
shouldn't
you
be in the
play.
playoffs. Yeah.
If you're gonna so let's just take a look at this. There is a possibility that you can still make the playoffs by playing mediocre in these games based on the other teams. But what does that tell yourself if you play mediocre against New York, Carolina, Edmonton, Vancouver, New York again, Buffalo, Montreal? You're gonna be swept in the playoffs with teams like Toronto, Boston, Tampa, Pittsburgh, Washington. Like, if you're struggling against the New Yorks and the New Jerseys, what do you think's gonna happen against the Washingtons and the Pittsburghs? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you could tell like
You can
Washington.
just tell what team has gone into the playoffs, won a Stanley Cup off of having probably a terrible end to the season. Do you remember a team? They've all ended pretty hot.
Yeah, but you could say that about like you could say about Edmonton. Edmonton had that one year they did nothing, and then they went all the way to the conference finals.
No,
and
they
now
played great that year.
they played great that year, but the year before that they did nothing.
No, I'm talking about. Sorry, my miscommunication. I'm talking about the last couple months of a season. Since when has a team played terrible in those last couple seasons and then ended up winning the cup in the playoffs?
Yeah,
It doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. But I still could see Columbus battling it out. I could see them. I really don't want to see that celebration in the playoffs.
No place in hockey for that.
No.
Let's
for
get
sure.
off to the Western,
Central,
the Western Division.
Central or Pacific
let's,
first.
Let's do Pacific.
All right.
Let's do Pacific. We got Calgary. First of all,
There. I don't see other than
they're not.
obviously
San
that
Jose's right there, but
that's a and they have a game in hand and they're a point behind. But San Jose is too slow. Too slow.
they're a very slow team. Too slow.
They have 1 or 2 speedy players and that's about it.
San
They
Jose
have-
is that team that gets burned into the third and Stanley Cup final round of the playoffs because they don't have the legs anymore.
No.
2 full months of hockey, you don't have the legs after that. Teams like Nashville, St. Louis, Winnipeg will burn you.
Yeah. It's cool to see St. Louis jump up from
Let's see if they make the second round this year.
No, it's cool to see them they weren't even there was rumors they were going to blow the team up
And look at
and
this.
all that and now
Back
they're
in the playoffs.
now they're
eh?
in the third spot, which is nice to see.
They're at 78 points.
Yeah, I know.
79 points is Montreal, and they're not even in a playoff spot. And the Western St. Louis is in third place in their.
Montreal's in the wild card spot.
They're in a wild card spot right
Yeah. I think they're tied with Carolina.
They are tied for Carolina, but in different groups. Montreal's with the Atlantic, and Carolina's with the Metropolitan.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, for sure, Calgary. I think Calgary's gonna end up getting that first spot, but they don't seem to have what it takes in the playoffs to like. I think in the last how many years they've been beat out by the Mighty Ducks. That's their kryptonite.
Don't call them the Mighty Ducks. They are the worst team in hockey, in my opinion. Because, yeah, I don't really have much to say about them. I just hate them because I like the Oilers. The Oilers are my team, and I hate the Mighty Ducks. Okay, they're not the Mighty Ducks.
They should go
They're
back
the
to
Ducks. Those are probably the nicest. Can we get off topic for a quick sec?
Sure.
All right. Mighty Ducks, hands down. I don't care what you say. Nicest jerseys ever in the NHL to ever play. The Mighty Ducks jerseys are the nicest jerseys ever. There will not be nicer jerseys. No, what?
You could definitely find a nicer jersey. Like I still think that I like Winnipeg's. Winnipeg's jersey is pretty nice.
No.
Not like their normal jersey. I think it's their alternates this year. And I've always liked St. Louis's jerseys. Those are nice. But you could say, like, for jersey-wise, Boston, Toronto, they're just gonna be normal. They're never gonna really change it up just because of their
the
original
16
six
should
teams.
never change. In
Oh,
my
never.
opinion, you're locked. If you like it or not, that's your team. That's your legacy. Sorry. You're locked with those jerseys if you're an original 6 team. You can't just change your jerseys, right? The Leafs, like back in the day, in your first couple years of startup, you're changing, right? You're finding your identity, but then you have it. You got the solid blue and white. That's it. Blue and white.
Yeah.
Montreal, blue, red, white. That's what you have. You're not gonna go switch to yellow.
Yeah.
Chicago, every single color in the rainbow, basically. um, but yeah, so I think the Mighty Ducks have probably the nicest jerseys in the league.
Yeah, but
Maybe unpopular opinion, but that's my opinion.
I don't even think. Well, you could say for the Pacific for sure. The Kings are done. They're not making it. They're last in the conference there. You could also say that about the Mighty Ducks.
Don't call them the Mighty Ducks. Hey, do the Oilers have a chance?
People are saying that they do. I see no chance. No chance.
I don't understand where they keep saying, "Oh, the Oilers." Like I see it on Sportsnet and TSN when I wake up in the morning. I check TSN, and every time there's always something on the Oilers. Oilers, is their playoff run done? I'm like, yes, their playoff run. It's been done for so long. What are you talking about?
They need another first-round pick.
Points.
They need another first-round pick after getting at least, I would say, how much was it? They got 4, right? Nugent Hopkins, Hall, Yakupov, nice, and McDavid. But
what a bust.
He,
What a bust.
oh yeah, to clarify, I did say he
He's
was.
in the AHL now.
Yeah, I did. I said he was nowhere. He's actually.
Literally nowhere.
He's actually in Colorado. I searched it up.
He's not in the AHL?
He's in the AHL, Colorado.
Colorado. Oh my god.
Imagine if he picked it up. Colorado would be so nice. Getting probably Jack Hughes or one of the Capo Caco.
That team's going to be hot in 2 years from now.
The only problem is
my God.
right now they're not making the playoffs either. They're 6th spot in the Central.
Well, look at that. 70 points. If you compare that to the Metropolitan,
They're where
79
they're
points
still
is
in
Carolina. You need 9 more points to get to a wild card spot if you compare it to the Metropolitan. In the Pacific,
Dallas
sorry,
is-
in the Central, you're not making it. I mean, yeah, they need. They're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You win like 5 games and you take out St. Louis. But everyone else is going to be winning games too. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, we'll just win our next 10 games. No big deal. Oh yeah? What about Winnipeg, Nashville, and St. Louis winning games?
Yeah. I would definitely say Colorado had a chance, but Landeskog just went out with an injury. I think he's down 4 to 6. I think it said 4 to 6 weeks with some upper body injury. It says.
This morning you said 46, and I was very
46?
scared. I was very scared. I was like,
I mean
what?
426.
You said 46 this morning, and I'm like, are you sure you texted me that correctly? Landeskog is 46 weeks out. I'm like, why wouldn't they just put that into months? Or a year. That's basically a year.
That's a year.
That's literally just under a year.
52.
I'd be scared. Like, what extent to that injury would it be? Like, what is it? Like 2 broken legs?
I don't even. It didn't even say what it
For
was.
clarification, people, 4-2-6. So he'll be back for the playoffs if they make it. I don't think they're gonna make it.
They probably won't. Just I still see teams like Dallas is a lock. I would say. I mean.
Dallas, you think he's gonna make the playoffs?
Dallas is the number 1 in the wild card spot.
I know, but
in
still.
the West, so I would say I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
But look at this. They got Arizona, Minnesota, and Colorado on them.
Again, in Arizona, you are not a hockey city. You're just not.
Okay, you're very biased with the cities.
I'm sorry. Arizona is just not. That's for baseball or football. I'm sorry. You can't tell me that I bet you could go to Arizona and you wouldn't find one patch of ice. The only patch of ice.
Matthews had trouble when he was.
Yeah, the only patch of ice is in Austin Matthews' backyard. That's it.
I doubt it. I doubt they have a.
Yeah,
patch of
actually,
ice.
you know
They have a
what?
pool.
They probably skate on
Okay,
their pool.
we're getting off topic.
Something like that.
We are going to introduce for a sneak peek Sebastian Palacrusis.
Great to be here, guys. How's it going?
We're talking about the playoff run. What do you think of it?
Well, I just want to take a look at, specifically, I was thinking the other day about Calgary.
Okay.
Calgary, 89 points. Where the hell were they last year?
Yeah, they didn't
Really?
do much.
Johnny Gaudreau having a breakout season.
Especially with the trade with
Oh.
the Lindholm trade with Dougie Hamilton. That made the team just a big push towards the playoffs.
Honestly,
The team's it's a fast team. It's a fast team.
Oh yeah.
If they play San Jose, you're beating them. Just purely on speed. There's only so much skill you can have in a team that outbeats speed.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
it doesn't happen. Like speed is the killer in this game now.
they lost to Arizona last game, which
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense due to how many points they have. But
You're looking at the cover right now. Based on
I am.
points.
That is true. But I'm shocked at how the GM created this team into like probably a top contender in the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went far, leading to Stanley Cups.
You know who did that? It was the Brian Burke effect. Brian,
Brian Burke effect.
he built that team. I'm kidding.
Come on.
But no, the trade definitely, like Dougie Hamilton, obviously you want him defensively on your team. Like, he's an absolute stud back there. This season, not so much, but getting Ilya Lindholm, I think his name is, and Noah Hannafin. Noah Hannafin has definitely taken a back seat for his career for sure.
Oh, he's in the carpool seat.
Yeah.
He's in the very back. He's in the kiddie spot, and he needs to get into the driver's seat if he wants to turn his career around.
For sure. That trade just who else they lost Michael Furland. That was just definitely the loss.
Hold on, I want to say something about Michael Furland. Michael Furland is probably I would list him as an enforcer, power forward.
I don't like him.
He put up a good amount of goals for that team while being an enforcer. I mean,
Yeah.
He was a good producer for them.
He's still
If
doing that
you
with
you want a guy
Furland.
on your team like that, what was he? Third line, fourth line?
Yeah, it was I think it was third line.
Yeah. And then you got your defensive core, which is great. Mark Giordano with how many points? How many points does Mark Giordano have?
He's the running for the Norris.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's got like he's got 31 points. 31 plus minus points. Plus minus.
He's the running
Holy.
for the
The guy's
Norris.
running the back end for them.
yeah.
And
Without him, they've got no defense.
you know what?
Other than who? What's his
they
name?
got
used-
T.J. Brody there. They got
What's that young guy?
Stone Hannafin.
No.
Noah Hannafin?
Not Noah Hannafin. I'm talking about.
Definitely Hannafin. Hamannik? Hamannik's just a great. Yeah, he's awesome. No,
Travis Hamonic. That's
it's
what I'm
not a
talking about.
Hamannik.
Hamonic is good. I like him. He's 28. Okay, that's fine.
He's just He's a defensive defenseman.
Hold on, what is so good about Travis Hamonic though,
Yeah.
compared to Mark Giordano of the season he's having right now?
And it's cool to see Giordano doing so well. He's doing so well at such an age. He's what? How old is Giordano? 36 or something like that. He's much older than all of his teammates and all of his opponents, and he's just showing that age does not matter for his career.
Mark Giordano is 35.
35 years
He is
old.
very bold. Wow. Okay. Well, that's off topic, but still.
But yeah, Giordano, he's definitely the piece
He wasn't
defensively.
even drafted.
Yeah, that's nuts.
He wasn't even drafted. Imagine. Mark Giordano's holding back that back end, and he's 35 years old.
Yeah.
He could be our father.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like, at some point, age has to catch up, and it doesn't look like it's catching up for Mark Giordano.
For sure. He's always had some awesome seasons, but never this good.
No.
Like UC players also running for the Norris, like Morgan Riley.
I like Riley.
Riley's young. He's also still developing. Like he's like second or third, which is nuts. You still have also Chabot, but he's not going to win
Shabbat.
it. He's
a good player.
He's young though.
the only problem with him is his team.
His team is I don't know if you guys have heard of the team. It's the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, I didn't
They're very bad.
thought they were just a garage sale. Not gonna lie.
They literally look like they are, based on paper right now. They are the worst team in the NHL.
I think they
Yes.
have been for
Yes.
sure.
Have been for time.
They are the worst team in the NHL, and they're gonna be right until the draft day. They're not gonna get any better.
Lose for Hughes.
They can't lose for
I
Hughes. Stop
know.
saying that. They can't.
They'll keep trying though, because it looks like they'll keep trying.
They might as well just wait for the other next draft class because they're not. The best they have is the Columbus pick. My eyes, it's a playoff pick. That's like the 17th pick, 18th pick.
Oh God.
You can't tell me that they won't. The best they're gonna get is the 15th or 14th for sure.
And that's nothing. You
For
gotta
sure.
develop that guy for 2 to 3 years.
For sure. I just want to switch off topics now. I want to go to Dallas. What do you guys think about Tyler and Jamie Benn?
Great players.
But what happened with them
We
before?
already talked about that last episode, actually.
You did?
You
oh
talked about
yes,
with the
yes,
G-
you
with the
did.
owner
Yes.
and all that.
Yes. But I want to go back to that. You
How
can't.
could you be an owner of a team?
I just want to go back to
Single out
because
your two players like that.
how could you be? Who was it? The GM wasn't it?
owner.
Called
No,
out. The
owner.
owner called
The
out
owner of that franchise.
of the franchise called out Tyler Sagan and Jamie Benn. What is that? Like that's you're ripping out your identity.
That's
That
Dallas.
is
That
your-
is Dallas.
They've got Nishkinen on the back. No, not Nishkinen. What's his last?
Niskanen, he's a
Klingberg
left
and-
right
the young
winger.
guy.
Heiskanen.
Heiskanen.
I like him a lot.
He's a very smooth skater, and
He needs
he's
to
gonna
more
be good
aggressive,
for
though.
them.
He needs to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
He's very soft on the puck because he's Finnish. Or is he Swedish? He's Finnish.
Finnish.
Finnish. Yeah, I was right. So he's Finnish. They all like that type of Finnish kind of sweet type of hockey. Very few Finnish players are nitty gritty like that. He needs to be more hard on the puck. That's getting off topic, but
So now we're gonna start talking about the Central Division.
Nashville, Winnipeg, St. Louis, we got up at the top.
I think that's a lock.
Yeah.
That's a lock. Nobody's
Definitely.
moving those players. Other than maybe Minnesota as the second spot. That trade for with Charlie Coyle for Ryan Donato for Minnesota was very good. Donato has really turned around his abysmal start with Boston, and he's been lighting it up with the line
I
of.
bet you loved when you heard that, eh?
Oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
But he's lighting
That's
it up
the
with
thing, though, with
Zucker
players.
and Eric Stahl.
Just because
Wow.
you're a Sidney Crosby or a Gretzky or a McDavid doesn't mean you're gonna play well on every single team you play on. So let's say for McDavid, I hate to say this, but maybe McDavid's playing ability isn't maximized in Edmonton at the moment. Maybe it's
Yeah.
better in somewhere else because he actually has players to play with. It depends on who you're playing with. You can't do it one by one. So that's why that pick, that pickup definitely hit you hard, eh?
I still like the move. Charlie Coyle, I don't think he didn't even have a spot. Like he was the most he was gonna play for Boston was third line.
Yeah.
Our second line, he's not gonna make it. So, I still think. Like obviously Charlie Coyle, he's a good player, but like Donato with the line with Zucker and Eric Stahl has been. It's not like he's been non-existent, but
But
definitely
he's definitely not there.
But with the coaching within Minnesota, they know what they're doing with putting a young player with these two veterans.
Yeah.
Which obviously Donato is going to be staying there for a while.
Definitely.
And Eric Stahl just signing a 2-year deal. Those two guys are staying together.
Eric Stahl.
What's wrong
Why
with that?
would you sign a 2-year deal with Eric Stahl? He's just gonna get older and he's gonna be worse.
The guy's old. He's an old guy, but he's not terrible right now. I mean,
he's putting up points.
but
he's
that's a
putting up
big
a
chunk
lot
of your.
But what do you think
You're
is gonna
saying-
happen in 2 years from now?
But hold on. You're gonna. So what are you referring to? Are you saying that they're not gonna sign him and leave a hole in that team? And he's a pretty big hole.
I would say
Re-sign
he
him
one
for
of
a
their
year,
their
not
alternate
2
captains.
years. Or draft sell him to a team.
Sell him.
they try apparently
for him, man.
there were trade talks. It was
Why would
swirling
you
on the deadline
continue
day,
the
but
prolonging life of an aging superstar that was once a great player and now he's mediocre.
well, here's the thing. Eric Stahl played for Carolina.
Oh, the jerks.
Let's. I don't even want to start with that team again.
Before we
So
continue, this was your sneak peek with Sebastian Palacrusis.
See you later, guys.
you
Thanks
next
for
week.
listening to me, and see you next week. I'm gonna be live with these two great guys, and see you next week. Wrap it up. See ya.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up and then we'll see you next week, Seb. All right,
but
back
getting
to
back
business.
Getting back to Eric Stahl. Eric Stahl, he's definitely. He played for Carolina, right? They traded him.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
They traded him to New York
Yeah.
at the deadline.
Yeah.
He didn't do much for
Wait,
Eric
wasn't that
Stahl.
Jordan Stahl?
No, Jordan Stahl was with Penguins, then Carolina, and he's stuck in Carolina now with like
Sorry, Mark Stahl. My bad. Mark Stahl. played
Mark
for-
Stahl. Mark Stahl's been with New York, I
Still-
think, his
still-
whole career. They can't
That
move him.
man-
His contract's stuck.
What is it, like an 8-year contract or something?
No, he has. It's about like a $5 million
No trade
deal.
clause?
No, he's just nobody wants to take
No one
that
wants to bite on
AAV.
old aging defensemen.
No.
And you think you want to bite on old aging forwards like Eric Stahl? That's gonna go on your fourth line.
That's the problem. Eric Stahl, he was traded at the deadline that year, and he did nothing for the Rangers. And then he ended up going to Minnesota in free agency, and he's been really, really good for them. At the deadline, there was reports saying, "Oh, he's
Mikko
gonna."
Koivu was really good at one time.
He's
Where's
still.
he now?
He's still. You still need.
What?
You still need a player like that. You can't say.
What line is he on?
I think he's on the second line.
I think that's just a clout-based type of pick to put him on the second line because it's Mikko Koivu, of course. Put him on the second line. It's Mikko Koivu. What do you mean? Trade him. Get rid of him.
You can't show that when you're a GM though, because when you're a GM, you got to show these young players. Like they added Kevin Fiala at the deadline for Granlund.
I like that.
He's
Yeah.
been
Great
very
passer.
good with Minnesota. Amazing recently. But Granlund, he's just hasn't. I don't think he's really been there.
If he wants to
for
step
it.
it up, I mean, that team has the capability of making the playoffs. We know this. But
Yeah, for sure they do.
they gotta start moving now because they only got 1 month left of the playoffs. Teams are battling for playoff spots. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a wild ride to the end.
For sure it is. And just these close runs towards the playoffs, we could kind of make out what we're going to see, but not 100%. So we're going to keep you guys up to date every week with every single time the standings move and all that.
Every single time the standings change, we'll let you guys know. And next week we'll be back, same time, Friday 6 p.m. with Sebastian, who was sneak peeked in this episode. You'll hear his voice for a whole 45 minutes. Not just 5-10 minutes. Seb, you get your whole episode, buddy. You're the first he's the first guest on our
The
podcast.
first.
We wanted to do 2 episodes just by ourselves to get the basis, and then we're gonna after that we're just gonna be adding people in every once in a while for, I don't know. Are we doing a guest consistently every single week? I think we'll do
I think
couple
we'll-
episodes.
yeah.
Us, couple episodes, guests, mix it up.
Yeah.
It's varied. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to stay up to date, our Instagram account is end2end.podcast. We make posts daily.
Daily, letting you guys know what's going on in the world of sports, letting you guys know what's happening with the playoffs. This is episode beforehand. We talked about on our Instagram our thoughts on the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And for this week coming, we'll talk about the thoughts on our next topic, which you'll have to tune in to find out, obviously. You can't just know that beforehand. But our YouTube channel is End2End Podcasts.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We come out with new podcasts every single week, Friday, 6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys next time. Later, guys.
Have a good one.